What is going on, everybody? It's the Fonts, and we're here for All In for All In 2018. I say that because I'm really expecting an All In 2019. This was an excellent show, and it really does show that the Cody and the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and everybody else, you don't need WWE. These guys will not like what they did. The way they put this show on last night, there was absolutely no reason that they would ever need to go to WWE. This was an excellent show. This was, yes, it was not perfect. It was the first All In. It was the first show for them to do, but there is no way, no how, no sir that these guys should have to even think about going to WWE with how good this show was last night. You had two title matches, both for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship and one for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Out of the two world title matches, I would say the NWA world title match is the better of the two, for the simple fact that it actually was taken seriously 100% from start to finish, whereas the Jay Lethal title defense was pretty much more of a comedy act, but it did have some serious points into it, and was definitely still a match worth watching. I will talk about who he will be facing later in the match, later in this review. We started off with Cody and the Bucks, who start the show with, I believe they had the six-man tag team titles from Ring of Honor. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. Cody welcomes us to All In. He looks so excited to be doing this. They do tease us with some pyro, because the Bucks are like, hey, let's just blow the budget in about 30 seconds. And they went, tease it with pyro. The first time it didn't come up, and of course Cody's like, did you pay the pyro guy? Taking those nice little digs at WWE. Then they do get pyro. Then of course they do. Well, it's a big show, so we have to have some kind of legend appearance, random legend appearance. And of course, who do they bring out? No, not CM Punk. They bring out Road Warrior Animal in his football what are those his attire from his wrestling days. Then they give out some free merch, so some of you guys in Chicago got some free 1 hour t-shirts stuff. So great on you. I will nip this in the butt right now just to say, no, there was no Neville on this show and no CM Punk whatsoever. But they didn't need a CM Punk for this show. They did damn good on this show without CM Punk. They didn't need him. The show was just good as it was. CM Punk coming out would have, been a little icing on this big cake, but it was not needed. We started our matches off with SoCal Uncensored, that is Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian versus the Briscoes. Scorpio Sky was knocked off the apron at the beginning of this match, and the Briscoes focused on Kazarian for the start of this match. Sky does get back into this match and takes the bulk of the heat. The Briscoes continue their assault a little bit later on in this match. Sky is isolated from his corner. Sky finally tags in Kazarian, who takes on both Briscoes and hits a couple DDTs. He does an Okada roll to the wrong Briscoe, the one who's not the legal man. So he hits what they said was a Northern Light suplex on the legal man and got a 2 count. Sky grabs the one Briscoe and belly to belly to the outside to his brother, then Frankie Kazarian with a Hurricane Rana to the other one. Sky with a top rope Conhilo to the Briscoes on the outside. Dueling Dragon Sleepers by Sky and Kazarian. Definitely a cool looking move. Scorpio Sky, Jay Briscoe ends up raking the eyes of Kazarian. Then when they broke free, Sky gets tossed to the outside, and Jay and Kazarian trade blows. Jay with a boot to both members of SCU. Then a rolling neckbreaker to Kaz by Mark. Neckbreaker in the ring for a 2 count. Redneck Boogie, as they call it, for a 2 count for the Briscoes. They send Sky to the outside again. They go for an avalanche boogie, but Sky sends Jay through the barricade. Then Sky with a jumping Hurricane Rana, which, dude, he got some leap. Like, Scorpio Sky just, runs and hits a nice, beautiful running, jumping Hurricane Rana. Tornado DDT by Kazarian. Yorigagi lung blow combo for a 2 count. Tiger Driver, then an elbow drop for another 2 count. Sky breaks it up. Doomsday caught by Kaz in a pinning combination for the 3. The winners of this match were SoCal Uncensored. I just feel like, and the reason I picked them in my preview, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. I picked them to win this match for the simple fact is it could give them the excuse that, hey, we beat you at All In. We won a tag team title opportunity because the Briscoes are the tag team champions. Moving over here, we do have a over the budget battle royal. We had Dalton Castle on commentary for this. I was like, why isn't he just in the battle royal? He would have got a chance at the end of the Ring of Honor Championship. You had Bully Ray, who put a mask like let this be sink in. The beginning of this match, Bully Ray takes a green and a masked luchador and just power bombs him through a table. Put that into your mind because that's going to play in towards the end. Trumperetta takes out Bully from the beginning. This is a crazy from the start. Everyone is fighting on the outside. Moose lays out Billy Gunn and goes after everyone with his bionic fist, with his punch, and then the Moose, Moose goes for a crossbody and then tries to eliminate him, but fights them off. And the smallest person in the match eliminates Moose. I don't know what his name was, but there's like this really, really small midgety guy, and Moose is on the apron. And he just runs up and drop kicks him, eliminating him. Cutler is the second one eliminated. The best friends hug, then Punishment Martinez tosses them both out. Rocky Romero then goes back shit crazy on everyone in the ring until Cage tosses him out of the ring. Brian Cage then tosses Cheeseburger, which I think got a little bit of booze. Cage and Martinez then both hit Hurricane Ranas on each other, which was not a pretty looking sight. Then we had the Hurricane. He was in this, and he chokes both Punishment Martinez and Brian Cage. He was going crazy for that. Page then eliminates, I think it was Adam Page. Adam Page eliminates Hurricane and Colt with a flying apple, takes out Page. Dreamer brings in the weapons and lays everyone out. Dreamer pays homage to Dusty Rhodes with the bionic elbows, as well as the polka dot ensemble he was wearing, from his tights to his shirt. Elbows to Martinez, and then Bully eliminates him. Jimmy Jacob hits a 5-knuckle shuffle on Austin Gunn. So yes, they wanted. There was a lot of homages or shots at WWE wrestlers in tonight's show. Jimmy Jacobs hits a 5-knuckle shuffle and then on Austin Gunn. Gunn eliminates Jacobs. Austin Gunn eliminates Martinez. Bully Ray eliminates Austin Gunn then eats a famouser. Cage gorilla presses Billy Gunn out of the ring. Little Marco was his name, okay, with a lungbow before Bully Ray eliminates him. Jordan Grace eliminates Cage. Jordan Grace, the only female in this match, put on a show, and she just showed that she can hang with the big boys. Jordan Grace gets in Bully Ray's face. Jordan Grace with the what's up to Bully Ray, but Bully eliminates her from the match. Bully eliminates Colt Cabana. And you're like, oh, come on, that's it? That's the end of the match? And then I'm thinking this when I'm watching this, and I'm like, wait a minute. The guy who is sitting over here, that they started this match, the guy that he put through a table, this luchador man, has not been eliminated because he pulled him out from underneath and then put him through a table. Well, said luchador man comes in, pulls his mask off, and it's Flip Gordon, who does eliminate Bully Ray, and Flip Gordon books himself for All In a Ring of Honor Championship match. The only critique I have for the ending of this match is I would have had Flip Gordon come in with the mask on, eliminate Bully Ray, and then pull the mask off. Don't show who you are until the match is over. That takes away from the specialness of this. I mean, yeah, it looked great to see Flip Gordon himself eliminate Bully, but you have the guy throw Bully Ray out and then pull the mask off, and it's Flip Gordon. I think the pop would have been bigger had he won the match and then pulled the mask off. But still, fantastic match. We started the show with Matt Cross, ML20 Matt Cross versus MJF. I did not care for this match. I didn't know this match was happening. Matt Cross won it. Didn't really care. Moving on here, we had what I think was definitely a damn good match and shows that Stephen Amell knows a lot more about wrestling than Alexa Bliss, Carmella, or half of the men and women in WWE. So, yeah, I will tell you right now, Stephen Amell impressed me in this match last night. Yes, Daniels is the veteran. Daniels is the one who probably was the leader of this match, but Stephen Amell did hold his own against Christopher Daniels. They talk trash to start this match, and Amell shoves Daniels, who spits on Amell. Daniels goes for the full Nelson, but Amell drops and Daniels walks all over him. Then Amell and him start trading chops. Amell then walks over Daniels, who shoves him in the corner and stomps a mold hole in him. Amel tosses Daniel into the barricade, and Amel grabs a table and puts it in on the outside. Amel looks to put Daniels through the table, but Daniel stops that and gets back into the ring. Overhead back suplex to Amel. Daniels with some kicks to the sternum and to Amel. Amel dropped to the knees of Daniels for a 2 count. Elbow by Daniels to Daniel by Amel. Springboard moonsault by Daniels. He doesn't go for the pin. He just, starts toying with Amel now. Daniels looks to suplex Amel to the outside, but that stops. Crossroads blocks by Daniels. Falcon Arrow by Amel for a 2 count. This isn't the first time, and they'll say it later in the show. Amel hits a Falcon Arrow. Daniels hits a Falcon Arrow. Falcon gets hit with the Falcon Arrow. 1-2 kick out. And I think it was Don Callis who said it both times. Nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow. They said it twice in this show, and I'm like thinking, yeah, there is. People do it all the time. They kick out of the Falcon Arrow. So why are you going to sit there and say nobody kicks out of the Falcon Arrow? It was a darn good match. Amel goes for the top and went to coast to coast. He actually hit a darn good coast to coast. Now, of course, Christopher Daniels wasn't actually in the corner. He was a little bit closer to a little bit out of the corner to let Amel actually hit him, but he hit a coast to coast and got a 2 count. Enziguri missed BME for a 2 count. They did say the reason that the BME was kicked out of was because Stephen Amell hit him with the coast to coast and it dazed Christopher Daniels, and he didn't get all of it the first time. Daniels goes for a suplex, but Manel knocks him off, and Daniels lands on the table on the outside, and crowd's going crazy. Amel dives for an elbow drop on Daniels on the table, but Daniels moves out of the way, and Amel goes through the table. What was that boy thinking? Jerry Lynn, of course, is the referee for this match, and he's counting one. He gets up to like 8 or 9, and he's like, you know what? I want to win in this match. He grabs both men and tosses both men into the ring. He then removes his shirt and starts shoving Daniels, and Mel rolls him up for a 2 count. Angel's wings blocked, and Mel flips it over for another 2 count. BME for the 3, and Christopher Daniels is your winner. Post-match, Amel and Daniels shake hands. Amel raises Daniels' hand, and both men pose for the crowd. Tessa Blanchard versus Chelsea Green versus Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker. We'll get to that in a second. But again, Christopher Daniels and Stephen Amell put on a sleeper hit of the night. It was definitely worth the wait. It was definitely a good match. And I could see Stephen Amell, when Arrow finishes, be like, you know what? I'm going to put the action chops behind me, and I'm going to go do what I want to do and become a professional wrestler. He had one of the best match. He had like one of the best singles debuts probably this year. Again, Tessa Blanchard versus Chelsea Green versus Madison Rayne versus Britt Baker. I guess Britt Baker was paying homage to her boyfriend, also known as Adam Cole, using his theme music to the ring. That's what I was told. That's what they said. I believe it was to Neil Dashwood and whoever her friend was. Madison Rayne was trying to shake the hands of all the other women. She got Britt Baker, Chelsea Green, who was the hot mess, with 2 sides of her shaking her hand. Madison Rayne goes to shake Tessa Blanchard's hand, and she just turns her head, and Madison Rayne just shoves her, turns her around and eats a forearm smash. Madison Rayne trying to shake her head, and Madison Rayne onto the guardrail. Britt and Green trade pinfalls for 2 only. Green sends Blanchard to the outside again. Blanchard takes over this match with Rayne with a bridge pin for a 2, then another one for a 2. Tessa powerless Madison Rayne and tosses her onto Green and Baker. Green with the suicide dive onto Blanchard and Baker. Blanchard then into the ring, goes for the top rope onto Baker and Green. Now Rayne on the top turnbuckle dives onto all 3 of her opponents. Blanchard with the delayed suplex onto Rayne, who rolls out of the apron onto the apron. Green moves out of the way in the corner, and then she pays a homage to her boyfriend, also known as Zack Ryder, and does a woo 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 broski boot by Green to Blanchard. Blanchard with the flatliner of sorts to Baker. DDT by Rayne to Blanchard. Rayne with a pin on Baker for a 2 count. Stomp by Green hits it up Unprettier, but Baker with a super kick, and Green, then a super kick on Blanchard for a 2 count. Blanchard with a roll up for a 2 count. Elbow by Blanchard. Crucifix slam for a 2 count by Madison Rayne. Nutbreaker for a 2 count. Unprettier by Green again onto Baker for a 2. Destroyer for a 2 count. Hammerlock DDT for the 3 by Tessa Blanchard. I don't know if this is how the match was supposed to end. Tessa Blanchard hit a Hammerlock DDT onto Chelsea Green, I think. Yeah, Chelsea Green. And Britt Baker dove in to stop the pinfall, but she did not get there in time, and Tessa Blanchard is your winner. Post-match, all four women embraced in a hug for their match tonight, and that was the end of the first hour. This thing went 3 hours and 57 minutes and 26 seconds, I think it was. NWA World Heavyweight Championship, Nick Aldis versus Cody Rhodes. Brandy gets her first entrance, gets an entrance, and she was looking extra, special tonight, last night. Cody had his ensemble with legends of Tommy Dreamer, DDP, Glacier, and a couple others. I could not tell who were who. Huge Cody chant from the crowd. Irv Helmner will ref this match. Nick Aldis had Jeff Jarrett, Daivari, and a couple others with him as well. So this is definitely got to be the biggest match the NWA World Heavyweight Championship has had in probably a long time. Yes, I know Nick Aldis has been the NWA World Heavyweight Champion for about 4 or 5 years. Not even that, like 2, 3, like about a year or so. And he has not had a bigger match than he did last night. They stare down and the crowd is going wild for this match. They shake hands and the match is on. They tie up and break, then again, and Aldis with some wrist locks. Now they break in this and tie up again. Cody goes behind, but Aldis gets out of that. Cody slides through the legs, then shoulder tackles by Aldis. Both men trade shots. Aldis side with the side headlock. Shoulder tackle, but drop kick by Cody. Suicide dive by Cody, sending Aldis laying on the outside. Both men trade blows on the outside. Suplex by Aldis to Cody on the outside. Aldis takes control, whips Cody into the corner. Hard, Cody goes down. Starts like from here on, his back becomes a problem in this match because his back hit the turnbuckle extra hard. Fisherman suplex for a 2 count by Aldis. Double clothesline, both men are down. Crossroads block, snapman by Aldis. Double crossroad, crossbodies. Aldis fall to the outside. Springboard off the top rope to the outside, but Cody leads to a forearm smash by Aldis. Both men are down. Hebner then goes over and checks on Cody. He throws up the X sign. Looks like all this match is going to end, and the crowd is not happy with it. DDP comes to the outside to check on Cody, and Cody looks dazed and looks out of the match. Daivari, for whatever reason, comes over and shoves DDP for no reason. DDP heads into the ring as Daivari shoves Earl Hebner and flips Daivari around and hits him with a diamond cutter. You could definitely tell this was a blade job, and this is why they stalled for the longest time, but Cody was bleeding profusely for a minute. He was like bloody everywhere. You could tell it was a blade job because they took forever. If this wasn't a blade job and they didn't want it to blade, then they would have probably had him up immediately. Of course, Aldis starts attacking the forehead cut where Cody Rhodes, of course, bladed, but they do want to play it off as if the forearm that Aldis hit him with made him bleed. Cody with a forearm staggers Aldis and gets him out of that. Power slam by Cody for a 2 count. Cody starts pumping himself up. Aldis tosses Cody into a corner, but Cody kicks him away. Cody goes for a moonsault, but Aldis moves. Aldis set him up to the top rope, fall away slam off the second rope, splash by Aldis for a 2 count. Figure 4 by Cody onto Aldis. And everyone's starting to go crazy. Everybody wants to see the winner of this match be Cody Rhodes. This was definitely one of those feel-good moments. Splash. Aldis changes the pressure, but Cody Rhodes and ends up getting to the ropes for a rope break. They break the hold. Running power slam by Aldis to Cody on the outside. Aldis wants Hebner to count Cody out. Cody beats the count. Cody goes for an Alabama slam, but he can't get it done because of his back. He ends up dropping. It looked like he dropped Aldis on his neck. It literally looked like he dropped Aldis on his neck. That was not a pretty looking sight. Cody tries again, and this time airplane spins him and then hits the Alabama slam for a 2 count. Cody starts tuning up the band and goes for the disaster kick, but Aldis moves powerbomb for a 2 count. Then turns it into a clover leap, but he does not have a full grip on Cody Rhodes. Cody fights to the ropes, but Aldis pulls him back to the middle of the ring. Cody fights again and eventually does get to the ropes. Randy is saying something to him. I couldn't understand if they actually had it lit up, but Aldis eventually pulls him back and goes for a power driver and ends up hitting a power driver on Cody. A very, very bad looking power driver. Randy then gets into the ring because Aldis goes up top and she's begging him not to do any more. Stop this. She's like begging him to stop this. Brandy gets on top of Cody as Aldis goes for the elbow drop, and Brandy Rhodes takes the elbow drop for Cody. Aldis realizes what he done, is not happy for what he's just seen. Aldis gets a two count while asshole chants from the crowd. Aldis taunts and then slaps Cody. Cody with a disaster kick and hits a crossroads for a 2 count. They start trading blows. Cody tries to go for the Verta Breaker or the Gringo Killer, but Aldis stops that. Aldis goes for a crossroads. Cody, I believe, snapmares him out of that. Aldis ends up going for a sunset flip. Cody sits down. 1, 2, 3. Your winner and new NWA Heavyweight Champion Cody Rhodes. With a big match like this, I'm not a big fan of the match ending with a sit down like that. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they did pretty much throw everything at this match. This was definitely a great match. Definitely a great match. Something you gotta go out of your way to check out. They definitely made this match worth watching. After the match, TDP, Dreamer, Glacier, and everyone else returns to celebrate with Cody. Brandy, DDP, and Dreamer fasten the title around Cody's waist to help him. You know, he definitely something that I'm sure Cody will never forget was the fact that he is now an NWA Heavyweight Champion, something his father has done multiple times. Then we have the Chicago Street Fight. I paid no attention to this match because I'm not really into Jerry Janelli or Hangman Page. Hangman Page won this match with a reverse power driver off of a ladder through a table. Then post-match, they did a whole thing, I guess, at StarCast where Hangman Page said and had him say he pretty much murdered Joey Ryan. They did a video package where Joey Ryan was dead. And I'm not even going to go into it. He came out with a bunch of guys dressed as dildos. No, thank you. So I don't care, and I'm moving on from that. Then we had the Ring of Honor Championship. Flip Gordon was out with Brandy Rhodes, who is now in a military getup. Jay Lethal had revived the Black Machismo gimmick for this, and he had Lanny Poffo with him. You had Black Machismo chants from the start of this match. They shake hands in the bell ring. Then Lethal goes out and starts acting like he's Macho Man, and he grabs Brandy Rhodes, pulls her from one side of the ring to the other, and tells her to stay there. She tries to go back to where she was, and he grabs her and puts her back again. Arm drag by Flip slides through the legs, and another arm drag by Flip. Flip Gordon is in control from the start of this match, but Lethal takes over by sending him to the outside. Lethal tries to attack him, but Brandy Rhodes gets in between him and Flip Gordon on the outside. And he grabs Brandy Rhodes. He chases Brandy Rhodes into the ring and then pulls her up on his shoulder and does the whole Macho Man thing he did with Elizabeth. Just a little bit too much. Brandy smacks him on the shoulder and he's back to Jay Lethal. And it's just not something they needed to do. Running kick by Gordon, then a moonsault for a 2 count. Gordon with a few repeating kip-ups, getting out of the way. Definitely something interesting. If you weren't a fan of Flip Gordon before this match, then I don't know what to tell you, because Flip Gordon was a great, this was a good match. This was definitely a really good match. Up and over by both men. Gordon rolls him up for a 2 count. Lethal rolls him up for a 2 count after that. Then a backslide for another 2 count. Sunset flip for a 2 count. Kick by Lethal. Then an enziguri. Then a backflip by Gordon onto the back of Lethal. It was interesting. It was a punt kick, enziguri. Lethal's on his back, and then Flip Gordon just backflips him. Backflips onto him. Lethal goes up and flips with a jumping kick, and tries to land a moonsault, but Lethal moves and hits a lethal combination. Lethal injection, but Gordon stops and hits a Falcon Arrow for a 2 count. Lethal catches Gordon, uses a torture rack. And then he wants to say lethal injection again, but Lanny Poffo gets on the ring rope and says, does the Macho Man thing, and then slaps him on the shoulder, and he turns back into the Black Machismo. He body slams Flip, goes up and hits three elbow drops for a 2 count, and then Gordon hulks up, and we start doing a Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage thing with the big boot. And he calls for it, but Lethal stops, goes for the big boots, or whatever he was going to do. Lethal stops that. Gordon hits the Star Spangled Sling Blade Gordon goes up top. Lethal gets up. Gordon with a Samoan pop. Then his finisher up top for a 2 count. Gordon goes up top again, but Lethal goes for a Hurricane Rana, but Lethal stops that. Lethal with a cutter off the top rope, and hits the Lethal injection for the 3 count. 1, 2, 3. Lethal is still your Ring of Honor Heavyweight champion. Out of the two title matches, as I said earlier, this match became a little hokey. I mean, you had this guy play up this storyline where he was not going to be booked for All In. He was trying everything he could to get booked for All In, and it just everything that happened to him. And then he goes through this battle royal and wins the whole thing. And then you put him in a comedy match for the Ring of Honor Championship. This was definitely a down point of the show, in my opinion. Kenny Omega versus Penta El Zero. This match was definitely a good match, but it's not the match you're going to be talking about like today or for the next few days. It's what happened after. But Penta tries to taunt Omega. Omega just playfully slaps him. He just doesn't even pull off that slap him. He just playfully slaps him in the face. Penta tries to back roll, and Omega tries a back roll, and Penta kicks Omega in the gut. Omega whips Penta into the corner. Penta does a leapfrog into the backstabber. Penta sets up a driver, but Omega runs into the ring and hits a Hurricane Rana. Omega sets up a dive, but Penta hits the sling blade. Omega is sent out of the ring. Penta dives into Omega, and Penta trade chops outside. Penta whips Omega into the barricade and a chair. Omega lunges at Penta. Penta power slams Omega. Penta and Omega trade chops in the ring. Penta kicks Omega in the knee. Omega counters a whip into the rolling senton. This match was going back and forth. We get Omega Charles for the V-trigger. Penta counters with a boot. Omega tries a one-wing angle. Penta escapes into a power long blower. My bad. Penta misses the top rope foot stomp. Omega gets a near fall after a Death Valley driver. Omega hits a V-trigger to the back of Penta's head. Omega sets up a top rope brainbuster. Penta slips out and kicks Omega in the knee. Penta gets a 2 count after a trio roll double foot stomp. Omega rolls out of the backslide attempt. Omega hits another V-trigger. Penta tells Omega zero fear. Omega hits another. Penta asks for another stuffed powerbomb into another V-trigger. Penta kicks out. Omega tries his finisher again. Penta reverses that into the Pentagon driver. Omega kicks out, and Penta and Omega fight on the apron. Penta hits the Fear Factor on the apron, which I never want to see again. I'm sorry. I don't know what is up with everybody in doing these moves off of the apron. We had a swanton at the last pay-per-view. What was it? SummerSlam, that was missed onto the apron. Why do you continue to do moves like this on the apron? Stop it. No reason to do it. Where was I? Okay, let's see here. Later on in the match, he tries the one-wing angel for a third time. Penta reverses that and traps Omega's arms. Penta snaps Omega's arm. Penta hits a Fear Factor. Omega kicks out. Penta hits the ropes, but runs into a slick V-trigger by Omega. Omega finally lands on a one-wing angel for the win. Kenny Omega was your winner, but it's not the match you're going to be talking about. It's what happened afterwards. After the match, Omega's in the ring celebrating when the lights go out. When the lights come back on, Omega is standing in the ring. Penta gets up and attacks from behind. You could tell it wasn't Pentagon Jr. at this time. Penta hits the code breaker. Penta takes off his mask, and it is Y2J himself, Chris Jericho. He hits another code breaker, grabs the mic, and tells Omega that he will see you at the Jericho Cruise. And he leaves through the crowd, ends up shoving the commentary desk, and Don Callis falls back. So one of the best things of the night was Kenny Omega being attacked by Chris Jericho, who said it was beneath him to be on this show. And here he is attacking Kenny Omega before the match, in October, on the Jericho Cruise. Then we had Marty Scurll versus Kazuchika Okada with Tiger Hattori, the referee. They did share the referees from, we had a Ring of Honor referee for the Ring of Honor title match. We have Tiger Hattori here. So definitely spreading the wealth around of all these referees. Marty Scurll is in the back. He's being taunted by a bunch of voices and two arms, two voices and an arm for each voice. He snaps both fingers. I don't know what that was. I guess it might have been supposed to be like his parents or something. I have no idea. And Okada has some red hair for whatever reason. I don't know. It's like I go Okada's coming up like since he's lost the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, he's been like having a midlife crisis pretty much. Okada forces Scroll into the ropes. Clean break by Okada. Scroll forces Okada into the ropes. Clean break by Scroll. Scroll flexes. Scroll takes Okada down to the mat. Okada counters with a wrist lock. This was a darn good match, and I know we're getting into one of those things. We're gonna like pull it into the match because this was just one of those matches. Later on in the match, we had Okada put Scroll in a straight jacket hold. Scroll schedules, but eventually reverses that hold into a lung blower. 52 fake out by Scroll, head kick followed by a swinging DDT by Scroll. Okada kicks out. Okada DDT Scroll, Scroll kicks out. Okada sets up the Alabama Slam. Scroll counters into a roll up. Scroll surprises Okada with a brainbuster. Scroll is slow to his feet, which it's really hard to say Scroll. And Okada sets up for the Rainmaker. This is towards the end of the match. Scroll grabs. This match went about almost 30 minutes. Grabs Okada's fingers and snaps them. Scroll puts Okada in the chicken wing. Okada leaps in the air and lands on Scroll. Scroll releases the hold. Okada sits up. Scroll puts Okada back in the chicken wing. Okada breaks the hold. Scroll sends Okada into the referee. Scroll hits the Okada with the umbrella. Scroll tries to rock in the chicken wing, but Okada hits the Rainmaker. Okada is slow to make the cover. Okada hits 2 more Rainmakers for the win. And Kazuchika Okada is your winner. Then we had the main event, which was actually rushed because of time constraints, unlike WWE, who can go as long as they want. These guys had a certain amount of time they could actually stay on the air. If they went over that time, we would have had a WCW when Goldberg and DDP wrestled at Halloween Havoc in, 97, where the match went off the air 2 minutes in. You had the Golden Elite versus Phoenix, Bandito, and Rey Mysterio. This match was just a bunch of flippy flipness, along with the fact that we had, and I will have to say, the homage to Wolverine of the X-Men from Rey Mysterio was so awesome. Just really awesome. The Golden Elite end up winning this one by the match comes to an end with Nick drags Bandito up the ramp. Nick dives off the stage and senton Bandito and Phoenix. Matt sends Bandito into a Bushi for a German suplex. Bandito avoids a triple suplex and hits a triple Rana. Mysterio tags in and hits a senton. Mysterio tries the 619. Matt catches Mysterio. The Bucks set up for the Meltzer driver. Phoenix breaks it up with a rope walk head kick. Phoenix destroys Nick with a rolling Canadian destroyer. Rolling Mexican destroyer. There is a difference between the Canadian destroyer and a Mexican destroyer. Just saying. Mysterio does hit the 619 and a frog splash handstand for a near fall. My bad. Bandito hits a backflip power slam, then off the top rope. Matt. Nick breaks up the pin. Bandito does a handstand and gets super kicked. The Bucks super kick Mysterio and Phoenix. The Golden Elite hit the Golden Moore bang for the winner. For Golden Moore bang for your buck. Okay. Phoenix breaks up the pin. The Bucks hit the Meltzer driver for the win. And the Golden Elite are your winners. And that was how the show went off the air. Coming out of this show, Matt and Nick Jackson took to the microphone after All In went off the air to call out Kenny Omega, Cody, and Randy Rhoads, Marty Scurll, Adam Page, and their respective families to the ring to celebrate the success of the event. During the speech, they also revealed that the ending to the main event of the night, Young Bucks and the Golden Elite versus Rey Mysterio, Phoenix, and Bandito, was rushed to meet time constraints. They also revealed that they capped off the pay-per-view with just 3 seconds to go before the live broadcast would have been cut off. So, if anyone was wondering why did that end up like that, it's because they were on a time constraint. This was a great show. If you want to check it out, I would. There is a lot coming out of this still. We will see how things go as the, weeks go on. And there was a tease for an All In too. These guys proved last night, they do not need WWE. If they can continue to put shows on like this every year or twice a year sometimes, and maybe if it gets that big, maybe they can do All In fall, like summer and fall, or All In, like All In 1 and 2 in the same year next year. Like 2 and 3 could be in the spring and then in the fall. We'll have to wait and see. But that is your All In review for 2018's Revolve. September 2nd, 2018. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like this video, find me on Twitter at TheFronts and twitch.tv/TheFronts08. Hit those follow buttons over there, and I will see you guys next time. Due to some unforeseen circumstances, I will not be doing a Raw review or SmackDown Live review this week. Hopefully, I'll be back in time for NXT, and we will definitely have an unscripted this Saturday. Until then, my name is TheFronts. You guys have a good one.